Okay, welcome back to Full Frame Profits. I am here with a very good friend of mine, Sullivan Turner. We have been knowing each other since 2000s and 2010s.
Yes.
And excited to sit down with him, talk a little bit about what he's doing and all the amazing things that's been going on. We kind of raised our families next to each other.
Right.
His son graduated last year, which was really exciting. And I'll let him tell you a little bit more about him and what he does.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to be able to come on and talk about our journey. We met, Leroy, when you were a student at McNeese and I was doing campus ministry. And so during that time, the university was getting prepared to start a multicultural office, which is an initiative to reach out to international students just due to the demographics of the university. And so during that process, Leroy, you came on as a GA and you started working. And at that time, you was pursuing, your academics, but then you started doing photography kind of as a side thing.
Yeah.
And you started taking pictures of all of our events and things like that. And as a result of that, we began to develop a relationship and a friendship. And it evolved, like you said, over the past 15 years.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
I feel like I was just in that little office. They're probably about to tear that down now since the storm.
Yes, that's true.
We had a lot of good memories in there. I think it was like a gaming room.
Yeah,
I looked at it.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, because it was like a makeshift office in the old ranch, is what they called it. Yeah, it was old ranch. And so very convenient. And it was a great experience for me personally.
Yeah, and then Courtney was there with us.
Yes,
we had a good little team.
Yes, we did,
and everybody was excited, about the events. The international students was getting love. I remember, did we have one that was like ISA prom? Is that one that we did? Oh, I can't.
We
remember.
did something. I think it was a prom. And then we did a Zydeco night.
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, Rusty.
Rusty.
Yeah.
That was when he was starting.
Yeah, man, that is nuts. Now he's like so big.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. He started. So we had that. We tried to do different themes based on the cultures.
Right.
We did like a Chinese New Year.
Mm-hmm.
So we did all of those things. So it was really cool. Really great experience.
Yeah. So just kind of fast forwarding it up a little bit. We, both of our kids went to elementary school together.
Yes. Yeah.
And we had days at the Donuts with Dad.
Yeah.
Our kids were so small then. And now your oldest is graduated. Yes. My oldest is now starting high school this year.
Okay.
And I feel like it's gone by so fast.
It has, because actually you took our pictures when the kids were small, because remember we did the
New Orleans Saints.
We had the New Orleans Saints theme.
Yep.
And then that's when we had moved into the building on Common Street, and you took our pictures. And at that time, I think my son, he might have been, I don't know, maybe 6 or 5.
Wow.
And now he's 18 now.
That's nuts.
And so, like you said, even from that moment, who would have known we would have been able to kind of continue to interact. Like when our kids went to school together, we would do the Donuts with Dads in the mornings. Mm-hmm. Once a month, we'll get that together. And then it's just been a gradual progression. And then when my oldest son went to high school, you started doing their photography for high school. And as a result of that, that was just another connected moment,
He was like cleaning up house at that graduation.
Yeah.
Because I was like, he's the speaker. He's got this award, that award. He's well distinguished. And I think that's a direct reflection of the drive that you have. Because you were a really, really great athlete. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you were good in the books too. Like the two have to usually go together. Obviously, you got master's level degree, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And your children must have saw that. So it only made sense to me. It's like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, why didn't I see this coming anyway?
Yeah, so, he's smarter than me.
Yeah. Well, that's how it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, that's right. He much more, like you said, I think for him, with the athletics and with the academics, which was something you had to do when, from little, making that a priority. But then he just took it to another level from the academic side. Now he had a great high school career at a private high school, and so he got to participate in everything. He did cross country, he did basketball, he did all the different events, and it just allowed him to have a great experience. But the thing that really was impressive to me was the academic side that the school emphasized and prepared them for college. And as a result of that, he's been able to go as a first semester freshman as a sophomore because he had enough credits because of the way the high school prepared him.
So I remember like when we were in school, we'd have to show up at orientation and they'd be like, would you like to take the CLEP test?
Right.
You remember? So these kids now, they don't know how to do that. They
don't have to do it.
I'm already ready. Let's go.
That's right. So they get to do dual enrollment as well as distance ed. And so
all from their campus.
From their campus. And so the teachers did a fantastic job of providing that as an opportunity, which a lot of high school kids don't have the opportunity. Some get to be a part of dual enrollment,
right?
But distance ed is, I think, an extra level that allows them to really get into it, because also it prepares them to where they're not just taking, basic courses, but it also saves a lot of money for college. Being able to do it in high school at a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
So that was pretty special.
That makes me think about like how after the pandemic, before the pandemic, like nobody was really thinking about, virtual.
Right.
And it's crazy how after that major event, how the whole trajectory of the world changed to where everybody can do everything from their home or distance.
Right.
Which that's opening up a ton of opportunities for people.
Right. And it's a big, big cost savings because prior to the pandemic, you had people had large facilities and they was paying this exorbitant amount as far as leasing space. And then during the pandemic, when people were forced to work from home, and I know a couple of business owners, and they was like, we can do this different and still be effective. So yes, that also, the academic side has also embraced that, which now distant learning has become a part of our culture today.
Yeah, it seems like it's getting harder and harder to gather people together.
Yes.
And they had the big tower that they imploded behind, like kind of over there.
Right.
I'm thinking if that would have happened pre-COVID, they would have kept the tower. But being that the way offices are now and people are remote working, I think that was another major reason why they didn't fix it.
Right.
And
so, and you make an interesting point that people are not gathering anymore. And I think my personal belief is that also is contributing to a lot of things that people are experiencing today, whether it's anxiety, whether it's mental illness. A lot of these things are being a part of it because we were created for community. We were created to be able to interact with each other, to connect, and all of those things. And because of the distance, the isolation, it has really had a lot of mental, really, consequences as a result of it.
When you said that, it kind of brought a verse to my mind, not to take it out of context, but it said, forsake not the assembling of yourselves. And like, that's such a powerful piece that when you said that, it brought that to my mind to think, gosh, there's a lot more to that verse.
Yes.
Than just say, hey, everybody go to church and do, man, you need to assemble yourself for those very reasons. Because like you said, we're a tribe-based society, right?
That's right. And what you're saying is true, because you look at it, we have a tendency of not connecting, not being a part of things, because it's like, well, I'm gonna just, we hear the term social anxiety, and some things are legitimate issues, but I do think there's been a heightened level of that, I think, since the pandemic.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. Because like, it was called canceled culture.
Yes. Like
a lot of kids they have their hopes up and then be like, oh, well, the pandemic, we can't do it anymore. Or they had trips planned, or they had things planned, or all this, I want to do all this stuff at school. and then blah.
Right.
So I could see it in my kids a little bit, how we're like, oh, we're going to go to the Port Wonder, and then we're all getting ready to go to Port Wonder, and then we looked online, and it was like, the air conditioner's broke for the next 2 days. And the kids were like, oh, it's okay. You know, when I was a kid, I'd have been like, man, no way.
Right.
But they're like, oh, it's okay. Like, we get it.
Right.
You know, they're used to cancel culture.
Right.
So when they had the next opportunity, they're like, well, I don't want to get my hopes too high. And then we got there and they're like, we're here.
Right.
So the day we went, it was last Friday. It was a homeschool day. And because obviously all the kids are homeschooled now. And I brought them Chick-fil-A, and my mom came before. And then we went to the Port Wonder. So I tried to make it a little bit more special.
Right.
But it's crazy how resilient they are, like how canceled things their skin is tough on that.
Right.
Which for us, it was the end of the world.
It was a meltdown.
Right.
Yeah, because you have, how many kids you have now?
7.
Yeah.
7 little ones. And
you have a basketball team and 2 subs.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's awesome. Because when I met you, you and your wife, y'all wasn't married yet.
No, I was actually doing the photography to get close to her.
Right.
Because she was graphic design. That was my way in.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that story is a good one because she was taking a darkroom class, which was a film class, and she needed a camera. And the lady, when I graduated high school, she was the lady who came to take pictures at our games. She had an old Rebel camera, and she gave it to me. And then I was like, oh, I'm never going to use this. So I took it to a couple of my brother's basketball games, click, yada, yada. And next thing I know, I still have this camera and I'm not using it because film is expensive.
Right.
So I pulled it out and I met her and she's like, oh, I have this camera class. I don't know which camera to get. And I was like, oh, I actually have the one that's on your syllabus. And I was like, hey, I can't just let you use this very expensive camera. She didn't need to know that it was donated to me.
Right.
But I have to go everywhere it goes.
Right.
So I went all her little assignments, and then I was in the darkroom with her. And I think that's where my love for photography started, kind of just bonding with her.
Right. And so, like you said, from that, which is really cool, because you started off doing it as a hobby,
Mm-hmm.
and then as you begin to develop, part God giving you direction, part your wife.
Mm-hmm.
And so he started leading you into that. And as now, that has become something that it has become your passion, that become your career. Mm-hmm. And it's been awesome to be a part of that, to see that it started as a grad assistant. Mm-hmm. That's something that was just something that was a hobby that you was just picking up to do for the sake of, being able to be a part of on-campus life, and just to see that journey has been pretty special.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it was weird while I was in it because I didn't see all these pieces connecting.
Right.
And I also wondered, do people ever see the pieces connecting? Like, because you were in the sports world a lot, like with athletes. Do you think they ever actually, most people see like, oh, I see all the pieces come together, then I'm going to be here.
Yeah, I think sometimes what happens is a lot of guys put a lot of emphasis on going pro. I think they really put their whole focus, they go all in. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I think it creates a lot of disappointment for a lot of guys because of the fact that the reality is 1% make it to a professional level, like 1%.
That's nuts.
Like, it's insane to think, and then the average career might be, 2.5, 3 years. And so a lot of guys put the emphasis on that. And as a result of that, it creates this really disappointment. It creates a lot of just unrealistic expectations. Now, everybody want to strive that, but I do believe there's the element of taking advantage of a college education that you have, because it provides you with the opportunity to gain a skill set. It provides you with connections, relationships. And so I think if that would be the focus of saying, okay, I'm going to be prepared for what's next, but in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy the journey, I think it would be a different outcome. Because I think you see a lot of athletes, they really, and of course right now the NIL has really changed the landscape of athletics, to where now you have an opportunity to be almost paid like a professional player.
Yeah, and sometimes more. Yeah.
Especially a lot of times on the women's side, a lot of in college, you have a lot of women that make NIL money more than what they would make in the WNBA.
Wow. Yeah. The platform is bigger than the job.
Right.
I was thinking when you were saying that, like, how the 1%, and I was thinking, man, I've photographed over the last 14 years, tens of thousands of people. And I can only think of one athlete that I photographed that's actually made it big.
Wow.
And that's just Travis Achan.
Right.
Like, out of all the people from Southwest Louisiana, there was a couple guys who went and played semi-pro. And then my cousin, he signed with the Falcons. But, like, there's only really one athlete that was like a household name.
Right.
And that's pretty much Travis.
Right.
And even though he's a household name, like, he's not LeBron.
Right.
But he's up there,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Out of 14 years to only strike lightning only struck once.
Right.
Out of 14 years, thousands of athletes, there's rec leagues, there's, program, travel team, all these players.
School, high school. It's like you've photographed a lot of students, a lot of athletes.
And only one has really made it to the big stage.
Right.
I never thought of it that way.
Right. And like you said, and that's what you experienced is really the norm. It's not the exception. So as a result of that, look at how all of those students that have gone on to play athletics, whether it's at college, and the majority of those didn't get to go play college sports.
Yeah.
Because it constantly minimizes the amount of people that participate, but you can still have a great experience as far as athletics, but then it can launch you into a great career, something that you really enjoy.
Right. How much do you think sports is about marketing yourself versus actually being the best? Because, like, for Travis, I just photographed his prom photos.
Right.
It wasn't even sports stuff. It was prom.
Right. Now, today, marketing has become a huge factor, whether you have, like with Instagram, social media now, that you have all of these highlights, all of these clips, these reels, and it doesn't necessarily show a full game. It shows us something that you did really well.
Yeah.
And who knows how often did you do that?
Right.
But if I make enough, 5-second clips of one moment or two moments, it looked like it could be manipulated.
Right.
You got some that, that's why a lot of a lot of college coaches, they look at footage. They want to look at an entire game. They don't want to just look at your highlight. Your highlight may pique an interest, but they kind of continue to dive a little deeper to make sure that who you're recruiting is that person on a consistent basis, or I just was able to capture, a small clip of them doing something. And so marketing has become a major now with your travel. That has been a big part of people making teams and things like that. Athletics have become ultra competitive.
Yeah. I was watching something, a reel or something, and a guy was saying he couldn't even start at his high school. And then he went to all these 7-on-7 camps and things like that. And he ended up getting a scholarship because his footage on the 7-on-7, he was beating out some highly recruited D1 level athletes in the little pass things.
Right.
And the coach was like, well, why aren't you starting at my school? And then he was like, my coach don't want to start me.
Right.
And he ended up getting to come back to that college and do a tryout or some kind of exhibition. And then he ended up getting a full ride.
Wow.
I can't remember who it was, but it was a guy.
Right. No, that's awesome. And that's another thing that, now when we were playing, there was no such thing. Travel ball wasn't as highlighted as it is today. It was not as popular. But then the other aspect of it is too, like 7-on-7, like that's a league now for high school athletes, and they compete during the summer, and all of those type of things give kids exposure.
Right.
So now you're able to get recognized. Back in the day, you would have to have a coach come and see you, and you know how that can. Sometimes they'll go based on how many people are in, how many kids or schools they want to visit in that area. Well, now they're able to do that more because a lot of kids are putting on their own clips or things like that. So it's helping them recruit as well.
It's like we said earlier, we're trying to do better for the next generation.
Yeah, that's right. That's
so it's like, if my coach ain't get it done, my coach didn't get it done for me, and I didn't get to play ball, I'm going to make sure you get a chance at least to get seen.
Right.
And I feel like if you're mobile and you're willing to go somewhere, you can get an opportunity.
You can get opportunity. You can get opportunity.
It might be Montana.
Right.
But
right.
There's opportunities.
No, there are. And now you have kids that are willing to work, I feel like, more. They have, because of marketing and social media now, we would never be able to get a Kobe Bryant workout,
right,
a LeBron James workout, a Steph Curry. Well, now you can go on YouTube and you can see how they train. And so you can start mimicking what they're doing, and that really helps you, prepare for, their skill level. Now, of course, you got to put in the work, but at least you have some type of blueprint that'll help you to start training, start picking up, start doing things that, professionals are doing. And before that, that wasn't even an option.
It's like essentially they have an open book test to everything.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
We're staring in the dark when we're kids, like, oh, I saw Michael Jordan do this move.
Right.
And we just trying to rewind it. Right. Like we had to put the tape in, record it, like rewind it. Okay, he did like this. And then, okay, rewind again, go play it slower. So they got step-by-step instruction.
Right.
For everything.
For everything.
I was laughing. I was talking to my kids the other day, and they were doing something, and I was like, do you realize anything we want to learn, we can just go on YouTube right now, as long as it's appropriate.
Right.
Because they got to, a parent's got to be with them for them to get on YouTube, period.
Right.
And I said, we can learn anything you want. Is there something you want to learn? And they would say kooky stuff, and I'm like, all right, look, that's how you do that. Origami.
Right.
We can learn origami right now. We got plenty of paper.
Right.
And it's like, I had to get an encyclopedia, and the guy had to come knock on the door and be like, hey, do you guys want to buy these books for $500?
Right.
And it's like, $500? We go to the library.
Right.
But my dad did buy us one solid set. He actually bought us a couple of sets.
Right.
And he had a lot of car magazines. So, not car magazines, but car books, because he's a mechanic. He worked at a plant as an operator, but on the side he was a mechanic. And my grandfather was a mechanic.
Oh, okay.
So anytime I need anything fixed, I'm over there with him learning. Working on my car. And I have people look at my car all the time like, man, you got an old car. And I was like, man, me and my dad put a lot of time in this car.
Right.
It's been salvaged, and now I've got it out of salvage, and we put new doors on it. We fixed the window regulator. Like, we've done a lot together in it. So it's more emotional.
Right. It's sentimental.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cherish those moments with my dad. He just had a cancer scare, and thank God he's good.
Right.
He went through targeted radiation, and he's doing, can't ever tell he was sick.
Right.
We caught it early.
Yeah.
But those are the moments that I really cherish the most.
Right. Being with your dad.
And I've had a lot of cars that didn't work.
Right.
I remember when you met me, I probably had that silver Tiburon.
Mm-hmm.
When we met, when we got that, it didn't work. It was sitting in somebody's yard for years, and it didn't start. And me and him took that whole thing apart, and we put it back together and got it running. And it was like at the end, I was like, Dad, there's a lot of pieces like left. And he's like, oh, it'll be faster.
Right.
And I drove that car from 5,000 miles when we got it. It was 5,000 miles or 2,000 miles, something like that, to over 100,000, and sold it to my brother-in-law. So that was an amazing car. I had two cars when I met my wife, and she had none. Right. So it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Allowed you to continue to be that support.
Yeah.
For.
Yeah. So you're starting a podcast.
Yes.
Or you've already started it.
I started it.
And you got episodes rolling out.
Yes. It'll be rolling out the 1st of September, the beginning of September. Yeah. I'm shooting for after Labor Day. And mine is going to be called Faith in the Game.
Okay.
Where sports and spirituality intersect.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interviewing guys that coach professional, that coach college, that play college, that are in business. So really getting a broad audience as far as broad guys and ladies I'm going to interview. One I'm going to interview coming up is a friend of mine who passed away while we played football together. He passed away, and I'm going to interview his mom and talk about her journey with that, because one of the things that I've realized that also grief is real. Yes. There's a, so I want people to be able to experience all aspects of life and let them see that there's a variety of careers. There's a variety of different aspects of sports. Sports is not just what you see as far as on Saturday on game day, but I believe it has so many intangibles that allow you to be successful if you would take the things that you learn, the highlights, the disappointments, the challenges, and implement that into your life. I really believe, to me, it's one of life's greatest teachers. And that's kind of be the idea that I'm going to share with the audience that I'm excited about, because I think it's a unique perspective that give people an opportunity to be able to listen to it. Very, very encouraging and very inspiring stories.
Yeah. Is there any names you want to kind of throw out there to people, like or you want to keep it all kind of unrevealed and let it launch out?
Well, there's one that played in the NFL. Okay. I have one that played overseas for basketball. That's a coach. Had one that coached college. That's doing well as far as an executive for a major company in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Okay. And so I'm really kind of, I want people to be able to go and be able to listen to it.
So you need
a former president of a university I'm going to have on. Yeah. That athletics was kind of their entry point into college. Okay. And so so it's going to be exciting.
So you got to go check out the podcast. Now, where can they find it?
It's going to be Faith in the Game. We're going to be on Spotify. Okay. It's going to be on Apple. And so that way we'll start advertising it shortly.
Okay. I'm excited. So could this officially be my first audition?
Yes. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have you come on as well.
Just audition, y'all. I got a place.
Yes. I'm gonna have you come on and share your story, because I think you got a great story too.
I appreciate that. So, and then where can we find you, like on social media or?
Sullivan Turner. Okay. And you can go on Facebook, Instagram. And so I'm on there as well. So
it's Sullivan Turner on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So easy to find.
Yeah, good branding. Good consistency.
That's right.
Would you mind closing us out in prayer?
Yes, let's do it. Lord, I thank you today that we can come before you and just acknowledge you in everything that we do. And Lord, today, this is a testament that, God, that you just work all things for our good. And even in this moment that we are together, that, God, that you brought us together over 15 years ago. And God, that you continue to allow us to interact and cross paths. And that, God, that you have continued to just show your faithfulness to Leroy and his family. I pray that you would just continue to bless them. I pray that you would continue to keep them and continue to lead them and guide them and direct them. Even as Leroy continue to be a godly father to his children, and even his wife, as they continue to raise their children to honor you and to be a blessing and encouragement to others. Lord, I pray and I thank you for today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I appreciate you coming on, and thank you for that prayer.
Amen.
And I look forward to more conversations with you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited.
So I'm going to have you on soon.
Yeah. I'm excited to see, a couple of years from now where we're at.
That's right. That's right.
Because this is the beginnings for both of us.
Right.
Another journey. Set off together on.
That's right.
This is awesome.
That's right. That's another journey. Yeah. Another journey. And God just continue to bring, and I was talking to somebody today just about that, like how, where do you see God directing you, or where do you see God movement in your life? And I responded that I see God movement in my life by the relationships and the people that I interact with and communicate with on a regular basis. And so
That's good.
God orchestrates that. He gives us encouragement. He brings people into our lives to challenge us and allow us to be, because there's so much negative things that come at us, that we need to find and seek out people that challenge us but also encourage us.
I love that.
So that's where I'm at with that.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So, well, man, thanks again.
Oh man, enjoyed it.
I can't wait to sit down on yours next.
Yep. We go do it. We will do it soon.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you guys. I hope this video helps you out, and if you know somebody who needs to hear it, share it with them. And thanks for watching.